Hi everyone, welcome to another Files list, and today I'm talking about the film Tokunbo. So if you haven't watched the film yet, I suggest you watch the film before coming back to my list, okay? Because I'm giving away a lot of spoilers. You already know how it works. So what is Tokunbo? What is the film Tokunbo about? Let me tell you. Tokunbo is a 2024 Nollywood film directed by Ramsey Nuoah and written by Todimu Adegoke and Thecla Uzozie. Okay, it stars Gideon Okeke, and the film tells the story of an ex-car smuggler who is given 3 hours to deliver the kidnapped child of a government official to her captors at the border, or else his family pays the consequences. So this film was a very interesting film, and that is why the love section is jam-packed with a lot of things that I really liked about it. I suggest you head over to Medium to read it, but I'm going to give you some points, of course. As I said before, there are spoilers, so make sure that you've watched the film before watching this. So first thing that I loved, or the second thing, was Darasimi Nadi was the governor's daughter, and she thoroughly matched the character of Funlola, or Auntie Funlola, let me be respectful. They have the same demeanor. You could tell, you could feel that was her child. Very, very eloquent, very outspoken, very expressive women. The daughter matched the energy of her mother. So they really, really got that casting choice very nicely. The third point, how the faceless boss was kept anonymous until a key point in the film. I love this part of the film. I like films like this that keep you on the edge of your seat, that keep you wondering and asking yourself, who is it? Who is the person? Like, where did this person come from? And I thoroughly enjoyed the reveal. It was very intelligent. It was very well thought out. It was delivered at the right time. It wasn't prolonged where you're like, who is this person? Or they're overdoing it now. It was giving, the reveal happened at the right moment. And oh my gosh, the little hints that they gave us to that moment, oh my goodness, I just loved it. I really did. Another point that I really liked was that Bankole's character, the governor's ex-husband, he, despite arguing with his wife or his ex-wife over the phone earlier, he still came to provide support and, care and love to his ex-wife, who I believe is his ex-wife, and I felt like it was very endearing, and that this showed elements of good in people, because it shows character for you to be able to cast differences aside and be like, look, the main issue here is that our daughter is missing. Let's put aside our differences and let me give you the support and care that you deserve. And he was there for her. I really like that. I really like seeing that they didn't have to do that, but they did it without making it something that we had to glorify. It was just a thing that happened on the side, like, yeah, this is who he is as a person. Let's forget about the argument that they had earlier on. It's nothing. Me, I knew that it was Raymond from the get-go. I just felt like he was. The reason why I'm even saying this spoiler with my mouth is because I have to give you a lesson here. In Files List, we give some really good, profound lessons. If you don't know, you should check out my Files List. My website is offline. I had all my Files List archives there. A lot of good films with a lot of good lessons. By God's grace, we'll be able to retrieve it when time comes. But for now, we're still moving forward. Why I say this about this Raymond thing is because in terms of lessons, you see, in life, never doubt a person's ability to come for you and your life when they feel like it's time. So people are just, let's say they're sleeper agents in your life that when there's just something in their spirit that says, okay, it's time for me to act. It's time for me to go for the kill in your life. They'll just like, it's kind of like a change of face, or like a drop of a mask where they show who they really are. If you've watched the film, you know how Raymond seemed to be a trusted person to the governor. All right. I say here that we all saw how the governor was visibly pleased and eased at the sound of Raymond's voice. She said that his voice was like a breath of fresh air. Who was Raymond to the governor? Was he an advisor? Either way, you could see the way that she regarded him highly. So the pain, the betrayal at the reveal of who was the person orchestrating this very, very jarring crisis, the kidnapping of somebody's only child for your own agenda, it can be very heartbreaking, which is why I'm happy that they gave the governor the opportunity to give him a dirty slap, because he said I was just business. Can you imagine? In life, you really, really have to be careful. You don't ever doubt that somebody close to you can turn on you. Don't ever doubt that somebody close to you that you feel like is a person of your heart has the best intentions for you. They may just be close to you in order to get what they want. They may just be close to you in order to study you so that they can know what to attack. They may just be close to you so that they can take you down from the inside. A lot of times when operations are falling apart, it's because it's an inside job. Quotes me. Oh, another thing that I really loved, the dynamic between Tokunbo and Nike, I like that they wrote that, and I like that it was enforced, because Darasimi, as a person and as a character, you could that dynamic was believable. That Gideon would be like, what's the right word? Be expressive to her, because he's a father. You know what I'm saying? And I love that they brought that element of fatherhood into that dynamic as well. He's a father. He knows what it would be like if they kidnapped his own child, you know? So I like that element of vulnerability in which he stated his predicament to her and she gave her opinion and they had these conversations. I really liked it. I like that they formed a bond towards the end. I like that he really, really did try to save her. I also love the end as well. Let me not say the end if you haven't watched it. Well, I hope you've watched it if you're watching this. But even the way the end came to be, it was so endearing. It was so lovely, vulnerable, you know, sweet. I just enjoyed seeing that dynamic, because you can see that Tokunbo as a character is very hard, you know. He may be a good guy, but he's a hard character from what we've seen. And to see that part of him, that softness with a young girl who he was supposed to kidnap, you know, in terms of the conversation, the engagements, them sharing snacks and Maltina, he wanting to save her at the end of the day, him regarding her as a daughter, was very lovely. I really enjoyed it. So yeah. Okay, another thing that I liked, that this was a classic case of who done it and who else was involved. Oof! When I say the climaxed, when that car went over the bridge, oh my goodness, I said, Ramsey, how many times did I call your name? This is going to be like 10 minutes long. I don't even care. How they incorporated Tokunbo's former skills of car smuggling into later aspects of the film. You know, in film, sometimes the scripts tend to forget the past of the characters that they are talking about. So certain skills that may be useful in certain situations that they find themselves later on in the third act is never used. I like that they brought that back. I like that they brought that detail, even if it was just for something small. I like that they still made us remember where he was coming from, you know? How great the directing was. Me, I'm a Ramsey Nuoah supporter. I've always, from when I was young, I've watched Ramsey Nuoah films. I've always just had great love for him. Like, if you check out my podcast episode, Viv's podcast, by the way, if you check out Perspective with Viv podcast, there's an episode called For the Love of Film. I talk about Ramsey Nuoah and I meeting each other at a premiere and we took a picture. It was so fun. It was so nice. So what I'm trying to say is that I really, really follow the trajectory of his work. And one thing I have said, because I've watched other films that he's directed, like Rattlesnake Ahana, Neka, Living in Bondage, I realized that Ramsey Nuoah has this intelligent approach to films. Like, his scripts are going to have some form of intelligence in it, some form of using your brain, some form of plot twist, some form of dynamicism in terms of characters, in terms of the storyline, twists and turns. You never see what's coming. You know, you never know what is coming next. I really like that. And that is what Tòkunbò brought. It was like a cementing of his message, or his, you know, everybody has their way of craft. It was a cementing of his own crafts, his own flavor in film. This Tòkunbò film. This Tòkunbò film. Like, like, you have to use your brain. I don't know that when I'm watching Ramsey Nuoah films, the ones that he's directed, at least most of them, you're using your brain. What's happening next? What are we doing next? How are we going to navigate through these issues? And there was a time when he was even trying to do some kind of multiverse thing with Ahana and Neka. I loved it. Ramsey. So this film, oh my goodness. This directing, loved it. Thank you, Ramsey. As you can see, I loved many things about the film and couldn't find much fault in it. It was well written and directed, and the casting choice for each character was excellent. I could have said more, but I summarized my points for the love section. Great acting by everyone, especially Tòkunbò, the governor, and Tòkunbò's wife. Great cinematography and excellent pacing throughout the film. You felt on the edge of your seats at different moments, wondering what will happen next. I thoroughly enjoyed it and highly recommend the film. Rating 5/5. So if you followed me all the way to the end of this video, thank you for watching. My name is I write Fi's list. You can check it out on Medium. Yes, we're here when we can. We review selected films and we just love films in general. I'm a film lover. I'm not a film critic, so that's why my format is the way it is. I don't have a problem with it. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, share, comment, read the Tòkunbò review. Tell me what you think, whether you agree, and we'll see each other next time. Bye.